What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bring you incredible guests from all over the world, so sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is CEO of Reimagine U Strategies. She's a strategic partner with Schooley Mitchell, and she holds a PhD in chemical engineering. Please welcome Lori McDowell. Lori, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Deanna. Glad to be here.
Well, let's just be completely honest with everyone. She was here before, but my computer crashed. So those of you that are following me, she was one of the poor guys that got lost in like computer craziness. But we're back and we're going to make it even better than the first time. I love the name Reimagine U Strategies. And you are super smart as having a PhD in chemical engineering. So I want to hear a little bit about you starting Reimagine U Strategies and what that means to you. And what that means to everybody else, for that matter.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I worked as a chemical engineer for many years. And a little over a year ago, I left that. That's a story unto itself, which maybe we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
But when I left that, I wanted to do something that was meaningful, something that was fulfilling, something that did more than just, make money for a company.
Yeah.
And something that was important to me. And I realized that in changing and going from corporate to changing my life, I got so much fulfillment. And so many people would like to do that and haven't. They're stuck in some place where they're not really happy. So starting Reimagine U Strategies was about helping people reimagine themselves. And basically, if you're in a place and you want to change, or you think you might want to change, what Reimagine U Strategies through training, through coaching, through speaking, through the book that I wrote, helps people figure out, one, helps them know that they have the ability, gives them the confidence that they're capable of changing and to do whatever they want. They're capable of changing their life. They have everything they need inside of them. And then helps give them kind of a tools and a pathway and the courage to face what's holding them back and to make that jump.
Yeah, no, I love that. And when you say that people are stuck in corporate, they're bogged down, and we're going to hit up the name of the show, bogged down with labels, and are scared to step out of that expectation of what you're supposed to do. And what I love about what you're sharing with us is that you have the courage to do that and make it happen. And you had a calling inside of you that told you were meant for something more.
Yes, and I can't take full credit for me because I wasn't out. And it's a horror. I don't know if you remember the story from last time. I was fired in a horrific fashion where I drove 4 hours to a meeting. But rather than find a new job, I was like, no, it's time for me to take charge of my life and to do what I want. Because I think so many people, I like to say they're a success on paper. They have a good job. They have a good salary. They have, a house in the suburbs. They have 2.4 kids.
Right, all the things.
And they look like they should be happy. And yet in their soul and in their heart, they're like, is that all there is? Why am I working 60 hours a week? And what am I getting for it? Is that really what I want? And I think everybody, and some people, maybe that is what they want, but at least
that's okay.
And they said, yes, I've questioned it. And that is what I want. I love my job. Yeah. But other people it may not be what they want, and they just don't have the courage or a path to change it.
Yeah. No, I do remember what happened to you, and it's completely unacceptable. So let's kind of go through it again and share with the audience your experience and how you left corporate, because it's really messed up, you guys. And if I would love to go there and kick their ass, bring it, let's go.
Well, I'm grateful because I've made a career out of it, but it was a little over a year ago, a little over 2 years ago. I loved my job and my boss retired, and then a new person took over, and he had different ideas, different values, different direction for the company, and I didn't really agree with him. But I had been there 11 years, and I said, well, I'll do it a couple more years till my son's out of college, and then I'll do something else. And I thought it was going well. Okay, I wasn't happy, but I was like, I could hang out there. Sure. I still had big customers and I was successful. And I drove to a sales meeting for a company that was about 4 hours from my house. And I got there at about 4:00 in the afternoon, and I went to check into my hotel, and I was told my trip had been canceled. So my first thought was, oh, it must be a mistake. and do you have a room? And they had a room. So I restated my room. And then I went to meet with my boss that afternoon. And when I entered the conference room where we had planned a meeting, it was supposed to be to discuss something else. So I had my laptop with me because I needed that. And when I entered the room, my boss was there, and a vice president who wasn't supposed to be there was there as well. And I was like, oh, this is strange.
Yeah.
And then I noticed his phone was sitting on the table, and a voice from the phone said, "This is Angie in HR. We're terminating you. You will be paid to the end of the day. Go home." And this is now 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'm 4 hours away from my home.
Yeah.
I was just like, first it was shock. Like, is this real?
Yeah.
Then it was anger. Like, you made me drive 4 hours to fire me. Like, who does that? You couldn't have fired me this morning before I left. But on that drive home, it was, all of that anger and shock. And
oh my gosh, a roller coaster out of emotions. Just like
a couple hours, it was awful. And then suddenly it hit me. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Yeah. And when it hit me, it's like, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, this isn't what I want to do. I was doing this because I was supposed to. I was doing this because I had obligations, but it's not what I want to do. And at that time, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I knew it was going to be doing something that helped people, that made a difference in the world, and that made me feel like I was really fulfilling my true potential.
That is just awful. And shame on those people for doing that to you, because, I mean, how long were you with the company for?
I had been there 11 years.
Woo.
This was about a month before at the time, it was a month before my 60th birthday. So it was definitely a bit of a shock. Yeah.
That is awful. Oh my gosh. Did you ever pursue any legal things?
I thought about it. I talked to a couple of attorneys, and I just, I had when I thought about the company and the people, I just had such a distaste that I didn't even want that to be part of my life. And I said, you know what? I don't even want to think about them anymore. I just want to flush them out and
good for you
and move on.
Good for you, because I think you would have had a pretty viable case.
I may have, but then I would have had to deal with them for another 6 to 9 months or so, and I just didn't want to deal with them.
Well, now you've gone on to greener pastures, and for those that are listening, and God forbid this ever happens to you, but there is something else better for you if this ever does. And it's brought you to Reimagine U Strategies. And let's talk about what Reimagine U does for the people that you work with.
Yes. We do both training and coaching. And what we do is we help people go through we do it in group. We do group programs as well as individual, but it's a 3-step process, really, both the training and the coaching. And since I was an engineer, I call it D times C times B equals A. It's like my equation.
I love it.
But the D stands for discover. And that's really a process of looking at, the positive. What are your goals? What does success mean to you? What's your whys? And really, where do you want to go? And then also part of the discover is looking at what are your fears? What are your limiting beliefs? What's holding you back? What are your obligations? Who do you feel like you owe? And we put that all together and figure out, okay, what needs to be overcome? And then the second part is the C, and that's conquer. And that's really where we look at, okay, these are the things holding you back. This is where you want to go. What are the tools to get there? What do you need to do to overcome that? How can we help you face your fears? And then the third part is breakthrough. And that's really a lot of exercises and coaching and getting deep down. And as part of the coaching, we do things like energy releases and root cause analysis and help you help you get rid of everything that's holding you back so you can move on. And then the A stands for an abundant life. So and it can be anything from I have an online 8-module coaching class up to a 1-year program and everything in between. So
I love it. It sounds like kind of the process you probably went through, huh? Like that roller coaster that you went through.
Yeah, one of the first things I did when I left, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life was I had always wanted to write a book, and I never had time. And I said, well, I have time now.
Yeah.
And writing the book really was taking myself through this process and also talking to other people who had reinvented their lives after something bad happened. And that's really where I got the Reimagine U strategies, was through the process I went through, as well as with a lot of other people who had horrible things happen and came back doing amazing things.
Yeah. Well, I think that when bad things happen or just something that disrupts your life, your regular life, that was like meant to throw you on a different path, and it's like I think most often we look back and we're like, thank God that happened. Right. I mean, are you in that place now? Like, thank God that happened.
I wish I would have done it I wish it would have happened before. But yeah, I think every time something happens, it throws you into another path. If you really look at it, you were not on the right path anyway. And you probably almost in some degree self-sabotaged yourself because you didn't want to be there or there, it's an opportunity that you would have never gotten if you didn't get thrown there. So I don't believe there's a lot of accidents. I think everywhere we go, there's a reason for it. And we just need to find the positive in that and find the lesson and learn from there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, guys. This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. I'm here to share another exciting partnership with you. I have joined forces with doTERRA. They are the leading provider of high-quality essential oils. I've got some here I like to consume, the ones that are consumable. So like sweet orange is really great. I also really, really love their toothpaste. Natural whitening and just kind of really helps clean your mouth. We do carry a lot of germs in our mouth, but I've loved this toothpaste. I've ordered it many times. These are some supplements. Here is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Really great products, high quality products. Definitely recommend it. I also really love the collagen. NMN is a proven anti-aging product. So the collagen and the NMN together is a real game changer. I'm big into collagen. I believe it. I've been taking it for like 20 years before it's even gotten so popular. And that's probably why I maintain my skin elasticity, my hair and nails. I highly recommend checking out doTERRA if you're a fan of high quality essential oils. Not all essential oils are created the same. Go click the links in the description, sign up, or take advantage of one of my bundles that I'm recommending to you with the toothpaste, also the cleaning products and the supplements. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you, and stay tuned for more to come. Like, who would come to you? Like, what would the type of person that would be ideal for your process?
Right. I think, I have a couple of ideal different clients. The main client that most of my clients they're mainly women, but men as well, but over 40, fairly high achievers, have some success.
Yeah.
It's in a corporate job or their own company, but they're just feeling like they're asking themselves, is this all there is?
Yeah.
Is there more out there? Is this really what I want to be doing? But they're kind of doing it anyway because it's easy. Right. It's comfortable. It's they're paying the bills. There's nothing really wrong with their life, but they're just not getting the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I also work with people who have had something bad happen to them, whether it's being fired or some type of trauma. So that would be the other, maybe they're not in that age group of the over 40. They had something that they need to overcome.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, I'm sure you know who you are, how this would align with you. And can you give us a story about one of your clients that you worked with, like where they were, no names, obviously, what they were going through, why they came to you, and how they ended up at the other side?
Sure. I had one client who, her and her husband ran a business, and they had a son, and her husband was kind of a little bit of the old school, and really sweet guy. But she felt like, between the two of them, she felt like everything was her responsibility. Yes, they were partners in the business, so she did half the business, but she also felt like she was responsible for taking care of the house and doing most of the stuff for the son and doing everything. And she was doing so much work, and she was resenting her family, and she was feeling like she really felt like she was a failure. And she came to me because she felt like she was failing, and she didn't know. And I helped her realize that, you're not failing, you're taking on a lot, and
burnout.
And she had the discussion with her husband and her son how neither of you are getting the best of me, because I'm resentful and I'm overworked and I'm exhausted and I don't feel like I'm my true self. And they kind of, resplit the work. They looked at their business. They realized the house was too big for them, and They decided to sell and move to a smaller house because they didn't need all that work. And now they're just really living in a place where they still have the business. And what's really interesting is when they did all that work on themselves and their relationship, the business took off. They didn't really work on the business, but now that they're in a better place, the business is doing better. And I think a lot of my clients see that. So when they work on themselves, or they work on a relationship, or when they work on overcoming something, it helps in all aspects of their life.
Yeah, it's like the domino effect, like it just automatically like raises the vibration of everything around you when you start doing that work, whatever it looks like for you. I mean, I know like that's true for myself and for you. You can attest to it too. That's why you're a coach now. It's amazing how those things happen. So tell us about you got a book coming out. You've achieved your goal of writing a book. So tell us about this book, the title, when it's going to be released.
Sure. The book is called The Reinvention Mindset.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And like I said, it really does talk about, it's not so much a self-help book. It's like half memoir, half thought leadership with a little self-help thrown in. So it's kind of an easy read. It's something that you can sit down and, it's got some humor in it. It's got, some stories that make you laugh, some might make you cry, but it's I think it's a fun read, and people who've read it already have been real happy, said it's not, it's not like one of these bogged down and follow these directions.
Yeah.
And it's coming out sometime around mid-May. It'll be available on Amazon. I think it'll be on barnesandnoble.com. It'll be everywhere. So, and it should be out. I don't know exactly the exact date. It's in the printer right now.
Very cool.
I have the ebook, so I may be releasing the ebook a little early in a couple weeks, but somewhere around in May.
What is the message you want people to get from the book?
From the book, I would like people to get the messages, and what I think I say it a couple times in the book, that that life is meant to be lived one crazy adventure at a time, and that you have everything you need inside of you. You just need to learn how to access it. So, or to ask for help, that everything you want is possible if you just really are willing to ask for help, or willing to face your fears. But you have that capability, and it's just, you need to decide to do it. And that once you make that, that's the hardest step. Once you decide to do it, then the rest is to go on. And then, the other message is that we're never done. I mean, just because you finish this goal, or you start this new company, or you write a book, we're never done. Life is more about the journey than it is about the end. So once you're done with that, you start on the next thing and you keep going. But in every path, you grow a little, you learn a little, you have another adventure. Yeah,
I love that. It's never too late. It's never too late to start anew. Like, I just love that. And I try to preach that and embody that with everything that I do. What does it look like if somebody wants to work with you, Lori? If they're listening to this, they schedule a consultation call. Like, how does that work?
Yes. You can schedule a consultation call with me at booklori.com, Lori. Very simple. Booklori.com. If you want to schedule a one-on-one call, or if you would like to attend, I offer a master class, and I'm going to be offering a free coaching session, both of them, a month each. If you want to get that, I have a free gift offer that if you register for that, you'll get the schedule for the master class, and that you just go to, it's joy.reimagineu, like the capital U, like university.net/free. And you can sign up for the free gift, and then that'll give you an invitation to the master class. And then you can kind of spend an hour and a half and see what we do.
Cool. I love it. All right. And so those are the links that people can book, booklori.com and joy.reimagineu/free.
joy.reimagineu.net/free.
Excellent. You guys, I'm going to put those links in the show notes. So if you connect with Lori and are interested in just learning a little bit more, working with her, or purchase her book, do not hesitate to go reach out to her, book that call, or just, keep an eye out for that book launch to happen.
If someone just has a question or anything, they can also email me at lmcdowell@reimagineu.net.
Perfect. I'll put that in those show notes too, you guys. Lori, this is the part of the show I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
guess I would just like to leave the words for everyone that, you really, we all have everything we need inside of us. I fully believe that we're all capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
And if we just access this, if we're willing to take that chance, we could do anything. I mean, I started a company and wrote a book at 60 years old. So if I could do that, and, people have done so many amazing things. So anything you want, it's there. You just got to go for it.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, Lori, thank you. It was good to see you. And I love your story. It's a story of resilience and showing that it's never too late to start over, number one. Number two, if something like that happens to you, you can't allow it to stop you from moving forward. And you did that and then some. You showed them, like, I don't care. Like, really, you did. You showed them, like, screw off, man. I'm better without you anyway. So I love it. What a great example for people. And it's just an inspiration.
Thank you, Deanna.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.